Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lips podcast. This is Brian, joined by my co host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts and perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. This week's episode is Don't Quit on Marriage. Yeah. So, don't quit on marriage. Man, if I'm being fully transparent, I would say occasionally my creative brain runs away with thoughts like that, right? And it's usually when I'm in a bad space with my wife. Um, but I'm also not a quitter, right? Like I think I've been in tough situations before, like this this job just ain't it, right? And I've stuck it out. I've learned new things. I've learned coping mechanisms, right? But I don't think that translates to marriage, right? I don't want to feel like I need to cope with my marriage or cope with certain aspects. I I want to solve those aspects so my marriage is healthy, and those tough times are much fewer and far between than they can be sometimes. Um and so I think this is an important topic because we all hear all the time what the divorce rates are, um, and it seems like they have climbed. Like they were what 10 years ago they were like 50%, and I still hear that, but I feel like they might even be closer to 60% now, maybe in that 56 range. And I wonder if it's because society right now is like, if you're not happy, then just go, right? And I don't think that we necessarily consider everything that happens on the back end. So, I guess my question to you is what's the what's the importance of sticking it out? Loaded question. I know. Mhm. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. Mm, yeah. I like the point that you made about the lessons you've learned in your marriage have made you a better person. I think sometimes we allow our brains to convince ourselves that we have accomplished that growth on our own, right? And it's like akin to accomplishing something in the world and not giving God the credit, right? Like, yeah, I've become a better person over these last 8 years. Um, it took a lot of hard work, right? I know that I couldn't have done it without God. And if I really think about it, Katie has also provided the space for me to grow, right? Um, it feels sometimes like I let my mind run away with the thought that, oh, I could have done this. I could have done this without you, right? And maybe that's true. I think I definitely wouldn't have done it as fast, right? So you have to give credit where credit's due. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Oh man. So talking about failure, let's say your wife displays a weakness in an area or has a failure in an area. What what best path is taken to, I guess, not display acceptance of the failure, but acceptance of them where they are? Um, and let's say, this is something that has hurt you, right? How do we come back to the table, um, and show that, we recognize the failure, however, we are still here to help improve, develop, um, to love, all those things. Mm, fair. Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Right. Yeah. 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 I like that. I remember learning from you in the process of learning how to bring up difficult things, um, saying something along the lines of, listen, I don't necessarily know how to get this out. So I need to ask you for grace in listening first to what I'm trying to say. And then, let's have a conversation about it. Right. Because when I am upset with my wife, I'm not always so eloquent or graceful in how I present an issue. Um, but just saying that to preface what you're about to say helps you with the thought of how to present it in a more kind and open-hearted way, right? Um, Now that's not to say that it's going to work 100% of the time, right? Sometimes your wife's going to be in her feelings about something, and no matter what you say, like you're just wrong, right? Um, but showing that intent of moving forward kindly, and like you said, with the mind of support or attitude of support and attitude of grace and um, attitude of we are a team, right? Like your failure is my failure, right? If you're failing in this moment and the things you did or said hurt me, maybe it's because I didn't provide you the space to say or do what you needed to do, right? Um, I'm still learning to walk through that, right? Because I can get real hot in a moment, and because I know that, my tendency is to then retreat rather than address, right? I would like to very much be better at, I'm not going to say not get angry, right? Because that wouldn't be valid, but process my anger while also fighting the battle of moving forward, right? Because if I think about it over the years, how much time have I lost, like connective time have I lost due to me being upset because I haven't dealt well enough with my feelings in order to express the things that I need to express in a manner that is appropriate. Mm, yeah, yeah. That's something I also need to work through is when my wife is angry, um, I don't wanna feel that, right? Whether wrong or right, I don't want to experience my wife being angry. Um, so I need to be better at more or less just diving in to solve, right, repair whatever is going on that has made her angry. Um, and I think previously I've been much more avoidant, which doesn't help anything. Mm, mm, right. Mhm. Mm, yeah. No, you're good, man. You know how my creative brain works. I've got this imagery of this little, how you see these clips and they're like little cartoons. I've got on the left side this guy who's got a digital display over his head, and it's a counter, right? But it's going down, right? So it's marriage one and mistakes starts at 1,000 and slowly works down until he gets to zero, and then the display reads divorce, and then it rolls over to marriage two, starts back at 1,000, counts down, right? And then on the other frame is a similar scenario. Got a guy there, his wife's in the picture. He's also got a counter, right? Marriage one, mistakes, but his counter's going up, right? And then it pans over and you see another counter that it's years of marriage and they're at like 37 and their mistake counter's at like 1,000,000. Right? And so I think it's like a frame of mind thing, right? Like, why do we lead into difficult situations with, oh, you knew better, or you should know better, right? That's strike one. Where on the other side, it's like, you lead with grace and you lead with solutions. And, you know, we treat it like we might treat our children like, hey, you know, this can't happen. Why did it happen? How can we correct it? And let's move forward. Mhm. Right. For sure. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, I'm going to try to figure out how to create that content. Yeah. True. True.
All right, guys. Appreciate you making it through this episode. If you got anything out of it, please share it with a friend, family member, anyone, that husband or father. Also, if you have any comments, just search Marriage is Tougher on anywhere you social media, and or go to marriagestougher.com, contact form, and leave a comment there. Um, we'd love to get you on the show if you'd like to. So please fill out that form, let us know who you are, what you'd like to talk about, so we can get you on. We appreciate you, and we'll chat again.
Peace.